Hello, and welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me as I explore the unbelievable wide world of pens. And of course, I can't stop adding pens to my collection. So you see in front of you 4 new, to me, Kaigelu 316s. I bought these on AliExpress because I haven't found any of the models with the white finials available on eBay or Etsy. And I've been having my eye on this resin for a little bit of time. So I was able to make a group buy from the same seller. Here's the group from the purchase on AliExpress. And yes, I did get 2 of these lavender ones. I didn't realize that they had silver trim and this new cap band. This is the more traditional cap band, gold trim. Silver trim on this beautiful green with a lot of pearlescence in it. And gold on this blue one with the nice swirl design. New cap bands. And also some of these 3 have the newer design finial. This has the older one with that plastic dome on it. They all have the kangaroo theme throughout. These have the same resin on the section as they do on the cap and barrel. These have white sections. And the white section will stain a little bit, but I've always been able to get the stain out with, a little bit of soap and water. So that works out fine with me. I've always wondered whether Kaigelu came in a box, and these came in this box. But no identification on the box as to what's inside of it. Nice registered kangaroo trademark with the baby in its pouch. And a cellophane sleeve, which makes a nice crinkly sound. So we're going to explore the 316s a little bit. These are all fine and extra fine nibs. I got a number of mediums, and of course I got that beautiful ground nib if I want a wider line. So why am I devoting this video to the 316s? Because they are phenomenal writers. And here are an example of the 4 nibs that you can find in their pens. The extra fine, fine, and medium are nibs that you can order with pens. You have to be observant, take a look at what's offered. And the LB, the long blade, is an extra nib that is easy to swap in and produces a very nice line. It's kind of like in the Architect series and kind of like a Naginati Togi nib. It's just incredibly smooth, puts down a really broad line. And as you can see, all of these lay down a fair amount of ink. And on this Tomoe River paper, you can get some sheen. The Alphonsine has some glitter in it. So just great writers, great pens, easy on the eye, feel great in the hand. Say no more. Let's just look a little bit more closely at these resins. I think of all the pen makers, Pen BBS certainly does a lot with different types of resins, but Kaigelu gives them a run for their money, especially with the 316 model. And it's probably easier for them to do because they make only a few models, unlike Pen BBS, which makes a lot more models. So therefore they can probably buy a lot of the same rod stock from the same manufacturer that they will turn into these amazing pens. The citoyency, the colors, it's just great. Different trim, same design clip, but just different in how it looks. And you can see those finials at the top, the one on the left here, and the blue pen is the more traditional one. And maybe they're switching to this one, who knows. But I like them all. I hope you do too. Yes, the pens do post, but the dual-fold design, they don't post very deep. They make for a very long pen. But you can see here how the different sections look. We're going to zero in on that business end to see how it looks close up. All the sections are shaped the same. I do like this gold two-tone nib. The silver nibs are just a little bit plainer. But I think Kaigelu has done some minor, I wouldn't call them too minor, but evolutionary changes in the 316 model. They were made out of brass and they were very heavy. Now they're all turned acrylic. They've experimented with different finials and sections and different trims and different cap bands. So I'm impressed with what they've done with this model series. And I've not had one that doesn't write very well. I ordered some of these lavender 316s to use as gifts. But when I got this second order in, silver trim, different cap band, top finial. It goes along with the silver trim, but I'm impressed with these variations, and also the color is slightly different. The new ones are a little bit lighter color than my original one here. We uncap them. They both uncap fairly nicely. And we see the sections. And there's a silver nib to go with the silver trim, which is nice. And a two-tone nib that I have on the gold one. And yes, it's been inked up since I first got it with a very saturated ink. And the section has survived fairly well. Oh, I did do some disassembly of these 316s to flush the nib and feed. The nib pulled out easily, so that makes it even easier to clean. Same converter in both of these. What's interesting is you have your gold trim, your silver trim. I just think the acrylics they use are just phenomenal, amazing, just really, really exceptional. So these two nibs are very, very nice. The all silver one is a fine, the gold one is an extra fine. You can see that is a good difference in the tipping material between these two pens. Both nibs are nice, but I tend to enjoy the two-tone nib more. Needless to say, they're both very nice nibs. So it's your standard plastic injection molded feed. I think this is their upscale converter. It's branded. The other thing that they do well is they brand the top here of the section with Kaigelu, and then 316 in case you forget what pen model you have. There's also a nice finial at the top of the cap, and these get to show you the two different versions of the finial. Not exactly certain why, but maybe the silver trim, they decided to make a change to it. This is more of the old style finial. And I think it's really great that these have, the same acrylic in the section that the rest of the pen is made out of. Just a well-made pen. Great writers, feel good in the hand, and look fabulous. I'm going to show off this nib collar. It has a flat piece there at the bottom, and it's more open at the top, so it really accommodates the feed in only one direction. So as you move it around, you'll see it just goes in one way, and the nib stays in one particular direction. So I think this is a great design, and a lot of the pen makers are following this design. I have to say I've changed my mind on this ball in the Kaigelu converters. I've had a couple issues with these converters where I tried to bring the piston down and it just won't go down. And what's happened is the ball is covering the opening, and when you try to do this, no ink flow. So if you inverted the converter like this, you could bring the piston down, assuming the ball came loose. So I'm removing the balls. And these converters unscrew relatively easily. Got to bring the piston up, and then you can take off this nice silver collar. You can pull out this part. As you can see, I have a whole collection of things that were inside converters that I no longer want. So when I put it back together, I'll silicone grease this piston at the end, put silicone grease on the threads on the piston and the piston rod. I really like that clear resin that they use. And as you can see, I did have some issues with the other converters, but now the ball is gone, no more issues. So take out the ball. Well, you may ask, how many 316s do you have? Well, here are 17 of them, all slightly different. I also have another one, which is in my pending review file. It's the one that takes a rollerball insert. So look forward to that if you're interested. So these start with, on the far left, my first Kaigelu 316, in kind of like a tiger's eye finish, another wonderful acrylic, and then a beautiful ivory and black one, and then a very, very dark gray with a subtle pattern in. I call it my executive desk pen. And then something completely different is this beautiful kind of like lemon twist one. Here's another gray swirly one. Here's my first white finial one, which is kind of like a pinkish color. Beautiful solid green one, and like we have here, the finials are now starting to have the same material, top and bottom, and also the section is the same. We'll see a transition to the new style cap band, or I'll call it new style, but I'm still finding pens with this double band here. Not really a double band, it's just a band stamped to look double with a black line in the middle. Here's another nice lemon yellow one. Here's my two lavender ones, silver trim, gold trim, and the gold trim one with the extra fine nib is inked up permanently. Here's like a Moon River style, kind of like a little bit of a purple. Here's like a nice blue swirl that's like a swirl like the amber one here, or this white and gray one. Then we have two new ones. This incredible blue swirl with some black and white veins in it, and a nice solid green one, again to go with a solid blue, solid amber, solid green, maybe we could call it. So tremendous variety as far as colors and acrylics go, all the same size. These earlier ones had a lot of brass in them and they weighed quite a bit. Then they went to mostly all acrylic and the weight dropped quite a bit. And I think it made it for almost a perfect pen. So if you wanted to look at individual reviews for any of these that I have, check out the playlist. We're just going to do a little bit of a close-up look on these amazing resins and pens. Maybe this close-up look will give you a little bit of a better understanding of the incredible resins and colors that Kaigelu has used, and these many variations of 316. Minor variations they are, but they are evolving the models, changing some things like white finials the same color. As you can tell, I enjoy my Kaigelu 316s quite a bit. These are the 4 Kaigelu 316s that I'm using for my writing examples. Extra fine in this lavender, fine in this swirly gray and ivory color, medium in a swirl blue color, and the incredible long blade nib in this cracked ice version. We have 2 with the traditional cap band and 2 with the newer cap band. They've been very good at having the same clip. Finial, same color, white finial, and occasionally a black finial. I just find that these 4 resins exemplify the amazing variety that Kaigelu is using in their 316s. If we just pick up this blue one, there's a lot of pearlescence there. Just a great pattern. And the cracked ice is excellent. A lot of variety in that chunks of resin that they have in the pen. Some with pearlescence, some with not. And this swirly gray one just has learned to grow on me. I don't think anybody would be disappointed with any of these pens. Just a clean, pure color. Has that different finial on the top. So hopefully, maybe you can enjoy and appreciate what Kaigelu has done with the 316s. Here we have 4 nibs that are available for the Kaigelu 316. Here's the extra fine in my lavender with the white finials. Here's a fine in my gray striped pen. Here's a medium in the blue one. And here's that phenomenal long blade in my kind of cracked ice mosaic model. But it's very clear, I think, from the picture that these are very different nibs. And they do write very, very well. I'm impressed with the quality of these nibs. And the aesthetics are pretty cool too. But mostly important, they lay down a really solid line. So we're going to do some live writing. And I'm going to use this pen for the live writing example. It's not the flashiest, but it's a pen that has been in constant use for many months from my time I first got it. Takes a little bit over 2 turns to uncap it. It fits beautiful in the hand. It feels great in the hand. This design is not one that posts well, but if you wanted to smash the cap on, you can. It does back weight it, but if you need to and post that cap, it'll work. And it is kind of secure. So let's put some of this Trommel ink on the Fabriano paper and have some closing comments. For an extra fine nib, this is smooth. Lays down a phenomenally consistent line. No matter what ink you put in this, it's going to work well, in my estimation. So we've looked at a phenomenal amount of 316s. So I'm going to rate all of them as 9.6 plus. The plus might depend upon the nib, the resin, etc., etc. But all of these pens get my double check, a la Wall Eversharp, and my firm recommendation, can't go wrong, give one a shot. We've reached the end of this video, so thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this kind of long exploration of the Kaigelu 316 models, spurred on by the recent ones that I've gotten from AliExpress. May you find a pen you love writing with and go write your brains out, as one might say. Hope this video finds you safe, healthy, and most importantly, happy. If you've reached the end, enjoy your day, enjoy every moment. We'll say bye, and yes, more to come. Lots of content in the pipeline.